Hi there, it's Julie Davison. Today I'm going to show you how to do some watercoloring featuring the Moon Lake stamp set from the 2015 Stampin' Up! Occasions catalog. This is my pick for my March 2015 Stamp of the Month club. Each time you join the club, each month in the club, you get a new stamp set, and then you get a card kit to make 3 different cards. You get enough supplies to make 2 each of all 3 cards. So these are the 3 cards for March with the Moon Lake, and I've done watercoloring on all of the cards. So I'm going to show you in this series of videos how I did the watercoloring on each card. All 3 cards I use the same materials. I use the watercolor paper, which is really the best for watercoloring, and I use the Aqua Painters. The Aqua Painters come in a package of 2, and the difference is the tips. You have one small tip and one large tip. Both pens are the same in that they have a screw off top, and then you can put water in the bottom to use for your watercoloring. So those are the basic tools I'm going to use. Let's get started. Today I'm going to show you how to make this card with the canoe and the lake in the background. I spilled a little bit of water, a whole lot of water on my card, so it's a little bit warped and the black cardstock bled a little bit there, but you can really see how beautiful that watercolor image is. So today I'm going to give you a few tips on watercoloring this image. Of course, we're going to start with the Stays On ink pad. You always want to make sure to use the Stays On ink. It's a solvent ink, so when you watercolor with it, the water will not blend the lines. If you try to use a basic black or classic dye ink and then watercolor it, the water or the image will just run. So you want to make sure to use the Stays On ink when you're watercoloring. And so I'm going to stamp that on the watercolor paper. Now the watercolor paper has 2 sides just like the Whisper White, so if you don't like the way it's stamped, you can turn it over and use the other side. It doesn't matter which one you use, they will watercolor the same on either one. I'm going to use the ink from our ink pads to color this image in. So I've got a little bit, I don't think I'll need the pink this time, the Soft Suede, the Pear Pizzazz, and then the Pool Party. So all I did was just give the pad a little squeeze while it was closed and then opened it up, and it pools that ink right there. So we're going to use the small Aqua Painter and we're going to color in the image. Now I'm going to start with the Soft Suede and pick up a little bit of this image. Now this tree is, it's really quite detailed, so I'm just going to kind of come in here and just barely touch, barely touching the tree where the ink needs to go. And there are some fine branches here, so I want to make sure to introduce some of that brown color, so it looks like our tree has a little bit more definition and is not just kind of a blob. So I'm going to bring just little touches of that brown soft suede color in here for the tree. Okay, and then I'm also, while I got the brown, I'm going to do just a little touch here in the rocks and the canoe. So for the canoe, I'm going to add a little bit more water, squeezing it out there. And I find that it's always easier to start light and add darker color. So I'm going to just kind of go over the canoe here with a bit of the brown, and then I can always go back and add some darker shading where I want it to go. So I like how the image already kind of has some shading, so I can pick up some of the darker color and add that back in. Kind of along the bottom and the inside here. Okay, so we've got our canoe image. You can spread that out. So you just keep playing with it until you get it just the way you want it. Okay, then I'm going to get rid of some of that ink over here. And the next color I'm going to do is the Pear Pizzazz. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of this. And I got some of the grass coming up here and around the boat. And again, like, start lighter and then you can always add some more color in the places that you want it darker. So just kind of washing over the image here. And then I'm going to pick up, I don't know if you can see that in the camera, just where it's a little bit darker here, and add some of the darker highlights here where the grass is. Okay, I'm also going to go in and I'm going to do the tree, and I'm just sort of touching. Again, I don't want the tree to be a big blob, so I'm just going to kind of touch in here with the color. I feel like Bob Ross, you know, making just a happy little tree. I don't know if you can hear the brush, it's just just touching kind of all over. All over where that tree is. Happy little leaves. Okay, now I'm ready to come back with the blue. And the secret here with the blue is I really want, I want to see some of the sky in here. So I'm going to add some blue in between some of those branches and come out here so that I can really, you know, tell that the sky is coming through. And you can see that here on the finished one, how I've got that blue kind of coming through there. So I started with the brown so that it would have a little bit of time to dry before I came back in with the blue. And I'm going to add some water here, really lighten this blue out. And I'm going to start here just with a little wash. And I can kind of work my way in to the branches, just touching little bits in here. Bring some of that color in so I know the sky is on the other side. It's not just a blob of green. Okay? Come back up here and just nice watercolor wash. We're just going to do the whole sky now. And come out over the tree. A little more ink. I'm just going to close the lid. You can also use the re-inker and add a little drop of ink in the pad there. Now I'm going to come back here because we've got some water. We do have some water back here, and then we have a sky. So I'm going to add another layer of the blue right here where the water is, so that we end up with kind of a line of water and sky, so they don't just totally blend in. So I'm going to add a little bit of blue there to make the water stand out a little bit more, and then it just sort of blends in. Add a little water here, blend all that color in. So you just keep going until you get just the color that you like, and then when you're done, you just layer it on a piece of the basic black cardstock. And then I used a little bit of the white jute ribbon. I really liked the way this looked. This is from the Occasions catalog as well. And I just layered that behind there. Oh, I forgot. Don't forget the greeting here. So here's again the finished card. And again, mine got wet with the water, so just ignore all that part. But you can see that beautiful watercoloring. So you can make that sky any shape that you want. Really just make it your own when you watercolor. I hope that you like this technique and you'll give it a try at home. Thanks for watching. Happy stamping.